bucks I have behind me are a couple 2015 bucks. And like most of the bucks that I've harvested throughout the last, since 1999, a lot of the time I'm relying on a huge amount of scouting intel from trail cameras. And these happen to give me 2 to 3 years of trail cameras each and pictures. And they become a vital part of how I'm planning to sit for those bucks, when I'm planning to sit, where they're coming from, if they're core bucks versus non-core bucks. There's so much information that you can glean from those trail cameras. The only problem, and something that a lot of clients and hunters across the country ask me about, is when do you change your cards? Now, there's 4 ways that I primarily change my cards during the hunting season. The first is during bad weather. Bad weather is awesome. High winds, heavy rain, snow, whatever it might be. Great time when the deer are pinned down to go in and not only move some tree stands around, but of course change your trail camera cards. So really non-invasive time. Next time is when you harvest a deer. Now when I harvest a deer, one of the first things I do is if I need to practice some doe management, typically I'm shooting a mature buck, or if I'm after does, the next thing I do, turn the bow or the gun towards a doe that's standing around. So great time to shoot a couple deer and you're not duplicating your efforts and your intrusion on the property. Also a great time if you harvest a deer to round up your trail camera cards. You're already on the property anyways. A lot of my clients have 100 acres or less. I hunt on 40 acres to 50 acres or less. So perfect time to grab several cards at one time. Another time, when you hunt, and this is probably my favorite time to change a trail camera card, is I specifically plan routes that I can non-invasively grab a card, go sit in a tree stand, grab another card on the way back out, maybe even to the point where I'm looking at a 2-inch screen on my access trail cameras and finding out if a buck is even near my tree stand before I even go sit. So I'm not duplicating my intrusion on the land. I'm grabbing those cards at the same time that I'm hunting, same routes, I'm not going out of my way. And so I plan that when I put my trail cameras out. I'm putting them in nice funnel social areas, but also in good people areas too. And then last but not least, when you leave your land. A lot of guys are, if you're like me, when I used to travel 7 hours to hunt, I would actually drive down here and we're not going to be back for 3 weeks, maybe 2 weeks. And there were a lot of times we'd wait till after dark. We're leaving, we're going to drive all the way home. And what a perfect time to drive through your property with a pickup. Tractor is even better, and change your trail cameras. You're not going to be there for 3 or 4 weeks, 2 weeks. At the same time, the deer aren't used to you coming in with a machine after dark, very non-invasively. You leave the machine running, leave the lights on. I think that's a lot lower level of intrusion than actually walking in the woods and spooking these deer right during the broad daylight when they don't expect you to be there. At night, machine on, lights running, great time to go change a trail camera. Now today is one of those times. Great time to go change a trail camera, and we'll talk to you about that in a little bit why. Well, we're talking about accessing trail cameras and taking SD cards, and this is a perfect opportunity right here, and one of my favorites during the season. We have a major storm coming in from the west, and you can see a few deer feeding out behind me, and they're just coming out right pre-storm. They're going to be hitting the woods here pretty soon because there's a major front coming. So that major front's going to accomplish, it's keeping a lot of the deer out of the field that normally would be here. This field would normally be filled up. But then at the same time, it's going to wash away all our scent. So I'm accessing a camera right here, taking the SD card out, swapping it out, and then we can check the batteries, see how the setup is. We're checking on the screen, make sure everything's lining up, everything looks great. And then we're getting out of here, letting everything be washed away, and a very non-invasive approach. One of my favorites for getting in and out and not spooking deer.